Greetings, one and all. It's Dagger, aka Red Robe, tapping in with you one time for another broadcast, another improv broadcast. It's been a while since we've done one of these. It's been probably been a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks. So I am happy to get back on here and tell you what I've been thinking about, man. Tell you what I've been thinking about, what I got on my mind today. Welcome to the White Tip broadcast. If you want to call it a podcast, it's up to you. But yeah, welcome to the White Tip podcast. Broadcast. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is: are you ready for the shift? Are you ready for the shift? Are you ready for the shift? Now, the shift. You may ask, what is the shift? What is the shift? What is he talking about? What is the shift? Now, the shift is actually when civilization moves on to something new and fresh, and they're moving away from one thing that they were doing, and now they're moving on to the new thing. So my question is, are you ready for the shift? Do you have the type of business? Do you have the type of thing going on that when the shift happen, you're gonna survive? Because a lot of people don't survive, to be honest. A lot of people don't survive the shift. When the shift happen, it's like a lot of people do get left behind. I wanted to paint a picture. I want to paint a picture for you right now. Think about this. Let's tell a little story. You remember back in the day, uh, back maybe 10, 15 years ago, for those people who were around, there used to be guys on the corner selling CDs and DVDs and stuff like that. And those guys, after a while, became like really important. Like sometimes, what I'm saying, you're on your way, from work or somewhere, and you see the DVD guy there selling DVDs. Mind you, these DVDs are bootlegs, unauthorized copies of people's work. And you sometimes may or may not buy a movie. For some people, some people that might not be a thing, because in modern day, nobody really does that. But that used to be a thing. Like you might buy a movie, you might say, he got that new movie that's out on DVD. It might be somebody recording it in the cinema. It might be, but we used to watch those. So, anyways, the DVD guy creates, or even the CD guy, he creates this business. Now he has a real business, and he's selling DVDs, CDs, whatever, bootlegs, and he's making a lot of money. He could be making up to like $1,000 a day. Good money, right? And he starts to depend on that business. Now that business is something legit. He's depending on it. He's collecting money from it every week. Sometimes he's collecting 5,000 a week from that business. It's legit. And you know what he does? He starts depending on that business, and he starts using that business as an asset. So he's going to the bank, and then he's going to tell the bank, hey, I want to take out a loan. And the bank's like, well, what do you do? He was like, well, I sell CDs and DVDs on the corner and stuff, and I make good money. The bank said, well, how much you make? He said, man, sometimes I pull in $4,000, $5,000 a week. The bank said, not bad. How much you want? He gives the bank the number, and the bank does the math, and see, like, how much money he's making, and versus like if he can get this loan. So the bank looks at it like, oh, dude making the money, man. We might as well give him the money. Dude takes the loan from the bank based on his business that he has going on, selling bootleg CDs, bootleg DVDs, right? Dude's happy. He gets a loan from the bank. He goes home, goes back to his CD and DVD stand. He's selling CDs and DVDs, making all the people that's making that original material mad, but they don't care because he making money. So he's selling CDs and DVDs. One day he wakes up and you know what he finds out? He finds out that Netflix is coming out. He finds out that Spotify is coming out. Apple Music is coming out. Everything is going digital. Everything is going digital. Within a year, within 2 years, it's all gonna. Nobody's gonna be buying no DVDs, no CDs, nothing. Everybody's going digital. And guess what? Dude still owe the bank. Dude still owe the bank a lot of money. And now his business that he was depending on to pay the bank back for that loan he took is going to go down because now people are going to go to Netflix, people are going to go to Spotify, people are going to go to Apple Music for their music and their movies now. So the DVD guy on the corner now is compromised. What are you going to do? Plus, his business wasn't really legal in the first place, but the bank said, hey, he's making the money. Based on where he was in the world, it wasn't illegal. So anyways, the CD and DVD guy now have to pay the bank back for that loan he took. And now the business that he was depending on has shifted. It's shift now. Everybody's going to Apple. Everybody's going to Spotify, Netflix to watch their movies. And his business starts to slow down. Like it starts getting really bad for him. And the bank is hitting him up like, yo, what's up? You're missing payments and stuff. Dude, business is done, to be honest with you, because nobody's going back to CDs and DVDs, but he still owed the bank. But anyway, I told you that story to tell you this, right? When a shift happens, are you going to be ready? Do you have that type of business? Like, let's say you're the CD and DVD guy. What do you do when the shift is happening, when Netflix and Spotify and Apple Music and all these brands are coming out? What do? You know what I mean? Are you going to have a type of business that can move with the shift? You know what I mean? So the DVD guy, he's history now because he couldn't survive the shift. He couldn't survive when civilization shift to digital. He's not important anymore. Nobody's buying DVDs and CDs anymore. So he doesn't have any business anymore. His business sunk. And I hope he paid the bank back somewhere. He might have got a different job and paid the bank back, but he owed the bank. But yeah, it happens in different industries too. It happens in clothing too. Like remember that time when everybody was wearing jerseys? Everybody was wearing jerseys at that time. And companies said, hey, you know what? We should stock up on jerseys because people are buying jerseys now. And then people just shift. People not buying jerseys anymore. Companies get stuck with big stocks in the storeroom and, they can't move it because nobody's wearing that stuff anymore. It's ironic because I'm wearing a jersey right now. But yeah, that's what happens. My clothing is provided by Blunt Killers, by the way. It's bluntkillers.com. You can go there and all my clothing is provided by bluntkillers.com. I don't want to take my hat off. My hair is now cut. Oh, cut that well. But yeah, it's a thing that happens. I just had to throw a little ad in there. It's a thing that happens, man. When a shift is happening and you just don't have the type of business that could survive it. You know what I mean? Your business can't move with the shift. Your business cannot move forward with the shift. Right now, what I see happening in the music business is that there's a shift. Companies are shifting their business models. Companies are shifting to different type of things that will affect us so hard that the music business itself might be done, to be honest. As a business, music will still be there and people will figure out different ways, but the thing that we really know as the music industry, that might be right now in compromise. Because I recently saw that AI can make beats now. AI can make you a beat. So if you're a producer that used to get jobs from companies that used to hire you because you make a beat that could fit in their commercial. You might have made a beat that they could use for their commercial. That if that used to be your thing and you was depending on that, are you ready for the shift? Because it's happening now. A company is getting ads from a brand saying, "Hey, if you want a beat for your commercial for your ads, we got you. It only costs like $20." And a lot of these businesses are coming with subscription. It's like a subscription based businesses. So sometimes they might tell you, man, you subscribe to our business, you could get unlimited access to whatever we're offering. So a company might say, is it cheaper for us to just do a subscription with this company and get unlimited beats from their AI? Or should we stick with our guy who makes us beats when we need them? You know what I mean? Because that guy might really be dependent on that job. But guess what? Companies are always going to look at a way to cut costs. So even if you're making dope beats for the company for their ads, that don't mean nothing. If they do the calculation and they realize like taking the subscription and doing that throughout the year, they might say, well, the subscription is $20, and they multiply that by 12. You know what I mean? Like if you're good at math, you could do that right now. And they realize that, damn, this guy charges us this amount for his beat. And if we do a subscription with this company, we're only going to have to pay $20 every month, which is less than one of this guy's beats. This guy made us 3 beats the other day. He charged us like a whole bunch of money. And we paid it because we want the exclusive rights to those beats and everything. And we want to use them for our ads. But now there's a company providing that music in the AI space. They're saying, hey, we can make you a beat for AI. I saw one that says AI that says if you're making a beat and you get stuck and you don't have any more ideas or what's not, the AI can give you some ideas. The AI can maybe add a flute or add some synth or something. But AI is here. There's nothing you can do about it. It's here. So either you get with it or you get left behind, because you have to be ready for the shift. The shift is real. So in the musical production space, the shift is happening. People are now considering to use AI. Like, don't be surprised when the full-blown AI song start running the charts. Don't be surprised about that, because that's gonna happen. Like they even tried to test an AI artist. They tried it like maybe like I don't know, maybe last year sometime they tried to test a AI artist. They was like talking about he's like in jail. I think when they did the whole jail thing, that's when people was like, yo, now y'all really playing games with people. So it didn't really get any kind of like confirmation from the music community. It didn't get like nobody in the music industry said it was a great idea. I think people are considering it, but at this point, nobody think it's a great idea, you know, because there's so much artists out there that's trying to be signed, trying to get a record deal and different things, and nobody is like signing them. Nobody's signing them. But here comes an AI that somebody might say, you know something, if that AI can do exactly what I tell it to do, never talk to me, never tell me anything, and create dope music, I'll use it. Yeah. People like Timbaland and those guys. Yeah. They be really sitting around and thinking like that, like maybe the AI might be the next wave for me, because at the end of the day, they're running companies. You know what I mean? They're running companies, and companies can also see value in hiring them and saying like, oh, he's a world-class producer. If we hire him and he vet our product, people are gonna say, yeah, it works because look who's promoting it, Timbaland. So yeah, that's the type of shift that's happening. It's happening in clothing. It's happening in it already happened in movies and all that long time ago. Like I gave you the story about the DVD guy. Yeah, it already happened there. But now it's moving, it's making its way. You know what I mean? Like it's happening in everything. It's deadly right now in the music and movie space. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely a lot of companies gonna look at like what can they do with it that's cheaper than what they're doing now. Because companies always want to save money because you're running a business. It's all about making a profit. It's not about losing a lot of money. It's about making a lot of money. So if you can use something that's gonna make you more money, like why not? I mean, that's how I see it. So you gotta ask yourself, like, if you have the type of business, if you're doing the type of thing that when a shift happen, that you will be able to survive the shift. You know what I mean? When people say, "Hey, we're not wearing those anymore. We're wearing these." Like, are you gonna be ready for that? When people say, "Hey, we're not using real producers anymore. We're just gonna use an AI to make the beat. We're gonna go to the studio tonight. We got our AI, and we're just gonna say I want a gangster beat, a little bit of Dre influence, a little bit of Timberland. Make the drums this way. Send it to the AI, and then AI create that beat for you. Like that's gonna happen. Younger people are gonna come through and they're gonna be like, "Hey, I'm using what's provided for me right now." Like they're not gonna care about you because you grew up in a time when people used to make real music. You know what I mean? I mean, I was talking to my homeboy the other day. He told me, I was like, "Yo, I'm so disappointed in the music today." Because he grew up in a time, he's a producer, so he grew up in a time when you had to really sit there and create and it was like crushing paper because you would start an idea, then you would just crush the paper up and throw it out. And that's how it was. Like for me, I produce beats, and I know like sometimes out of the 5 to 10 beats that I produce in within maybe a couple of days or whatever, sometimes only one of them you know, sounds appealing to me, but maybe I could play the rest of them to somebody and they'll be like, yeah, I like that beat right there. Because like you may make something, but you might not think that it's for you. You might think like maybe somebody else might like it. But yeah, like we came up in a time when you really had to put your ideas to the test. But now you don't, because now you can just use an AI tool to create whatever it is that you're thinking about. And I'm not against technology at all. I'm not against AI. I'm not against anything that's gonna like evolve, make us more evolved. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against anything like that. It's just that like when those things happen, people sometimes are not ready for those type of changes, for those type of like shifts. Like like you know how much producers are gonna suffer when the whole AI boom like starts taking off, like people are actually using those things. Like when the actual music industry, when an artist decides, an actual famous artist decide that, you know what, I'm using an AI beat, other artists are gonna follow. Other artists are gonna be like, me too, I'm gonna do that too. And especially if it hits and it's on the radio playing and it's happening with it, that person might just be like, oh, this might be the way to go. So, and then producers, you know what I'm saying? People that really make beats are going to suffer because, companies are going to suffer because there's companies that might be making drum machines and different instruments and stuff. And those sales are way down because guess what? People are using the AI to make their music. So it's always about surviving the shift. It's always about surviving the shift. Like I've had businesses before where like we selling one thing and then people just move on to the new thing, and then we're just getting stuck with this with that product, and we like have tons of it in the storeroom. Nobody's buying it anymore because a shift happened, and we just like get stuck with the product, and then we either had to like discount it terribly and oh, just give it away because nobody's buying. So it's always going to be a shift happening. It's just that like, are you going to be ready for it? Are you going to be ready for that shift? Because if you already invested in something that you thought was going to be a hit and it failed because people moved on, even in music right now, people are moving on. People are like you see, we're living in a time where, you remember back in the day, like snitching, like snitching was a rule that was like a thing that nobody accepted. Nobody accepted a snitch, somebody that go and tell on everybody, so everybody can go to jail or something. Nobody respected that. Nobody respected artists suing other artists because of rap battling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. But now one artist do it, other artists do it, and then it's like normalized, and then it's a shift. People now accept snitching, accept uh people suing people in music, in rap battles and stuff. So it's like always about being prepared for that shift. Because you might be an artist making a certain type of music right now, and you're trying to figure out like, why my music not hitting? Like this type of music should hit. Because I go through that sometimes too. Like where like I'm making a certain song. Like I remember like writing certain songs and saying, this is what the human brain experience. This is so relatable just on a human level, not even like a time frame level or like an era level. Like it's not about like what era you're from or nothing like that. It was just like, this is relatable as a human being. As long as you're alive, this is relatable. And nobody rocking with that. Nah, nobody rocking with that because people already shift. People are not listening to positive music anymore. No, it's all about negativity. Now I don't want to go there right now because I already spoke on that. It's always something that I'm baffled by. But that also fits in with the shift. You got people now telling themselves that certain negativity works, certain things that seem wrong are supposed to be wrong, but they work. So, hey, we don't care about doing nothing positive. We don't care about like morals. We don't care about all that stuff because guess what? That stuff is from back in the day or from in the old time. People used to have morals and people cared about things back then. Nobody in this era care about nothing. We just doing what the hell we want. That's what this era is about. And you can't be mad if you're older and stuff. You can't be mad because you got to look at it like when you were in your era and you were doing certain things. You know, the older folks said that you were doing stupid stuff too. So right now, if you're trying to tell these youngsters that they're doing something stupid, you just look like an old man, like, you know, talking to the clouds. So you just got to learn how to accept what's gonna happen, and you just got to be ready for that shift. You got to be ready for when civilization is moving on to the next biggest, freshest thing. You got to have that type of mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that type of mind. And hopefully you have that type of business that can last the test of time, because it's not easy. Businesses die out every day. Like if you look, they said 90% of businesses that will be started will end like in less than a year or two. Like for me, my business is holding on for dear life. That's why I'm here right now. Yo, check my hats out. You know what I'm saying? I sell hats. I sell shirts. Come rock with me. And I'm just trying to stay with the shift. Like when the shift happened, I'm trying to stay with it. I'm trying to move with it, because if I like slouch or just decide that I'm not gonna move with the shift or understand the shift, then I'll just end up becoming a dinosaur and become extinct. So one of the most important things to me is understanding the shift, respecting the shift, and also move with the shift. You know what I mean? Like to be able to move with the shift when it happens and survive, still have a business, still have some sort of influence. Because trust me, when the shift happens, a lot of people die out. A lot of people die out, get left behind. Nobody checking them out, nobody rocking with them anymore. All right, man. Time is running down. It's a Monday afternoon. I want to wish y'all to have a great week this week. Hope you have a lot of progress. Remember, this is just an improv stuff that's on my mind. No, nothing scripted. It's just, come here to have a little conversations with you every now and again. All right, man. This is Dagger, aka Red Robe, tapping out one time. White Tip Podcast, White Tip Broadcast, White Tip YouTube channel. Much respect, one love. Peace.